Good afternoon, everyone. This is Heidi Myers. I hope you all had a great Labor Day weekend. It was certainly beautiful weather here in New York City. So today we're going to talk about updates in work permits for September 2020. A lot has been happening with work permits. First, USCIS had developed a backlog of 75,000 work permit cards that had been approved, but that USCIS had not produced and sent out to people. So this means there were all these folks, more than 75,000 people, who were approved for work permits but didn't have their card. So as the result of a federal lawsuit filed in the District of Ohio, Subramanya versus USCIS, the federal court has ordered USCIS to produce those work permit cards and given them a schedule by which they have to send them out. So that was a big success for immigrants. So those are people who have approval notices but didn't get the actual physical employment authorization document card. So those people should be getting their cards soon according to the federal court schedule. The other aspect of the federal court case is that USCIS is now allowing employers to accept the USCIS approval notice for the work permit in lieu of the actual card. So for work permits that USCIS approved, basically approval notices dated from December 1st, 2019 up to December 1st, 2020, as long as an immigrant has their work permit approval, the employer can accept that as a valid work document for purposes of the Form I-9 List C. So that was a great win for immigrants, thank God. Now the other aspect is there are many people out there, many immigrants out there waiting for USCIS to adjudicate their work authorization. And it can be on any basis. Basically, there are backlogs in all areas of EAD adjudications. So people are waiting 5 months, 6.5 months, even longer for their work card to be approved. If you're in that situation, if you've been waiting ages and ages and you still haven't gotten your work permit, we can file in federal court for you. This is Heidi Myers, immigration attorney. I'm at 11 Broadway, Suite 925, New York, New York. And you can reach me at 212-791-4007 or 646-508-5225. The other aspect of this is that USCIS came out with 2 new rules regarding asylum applicants. So up until now, if you have applied for asylum, you have to wait 150 days from the date you filed your asylum application before you can apply for your work permit. Then USCIS had 30 days to adjudicate your work authorization document. So you could receive your work permit card within 6 months after applying for asylum. That had been the rule up until now. Also, the first time an asylum applicant applies for their work permit, they did not have to pay any filing fees. Now, USCIS came out with DHS came out with 2 new rules that changed this whole process as of August 25th, 2020. So now, if you're an asylum applicant, you cannot apply for work authorization until you have waited a whole year, 365 days after filing your application. And USCIS no longer has the 30-day time limit to adjudicate your work permit. They can just sit on your work authorization application for months. So you're talking about leaving asylum applicants hanging, waiting for their work authorization for maybe a year and 3 months, a year and 6 months, who knows how long, which is terrible. Also, the other problem is that up until now, as I said, asylum applicants, the first time they apply for their work permit, they do not have to pay any filing fees. The new rule, as of August 25th, 2020, requires first-time applicants for work permits who are applying for asylum to pay USCIS filing fees. And as you know, USCIS filing fees are going to increase on October 2nd to about $580 for a work permit. So you have these poor people fleeing persecution who probably qualify under the Refugee Act for asylum, and they're waiting for their asylum application to be adjudicated. They just got here, and they have to come up with almost $600 in filing fees in order to get their work permit after waiting a year, whatever, since they've applied. Now, the other problem with the new rule is that if you arrived in the United States and you did not make your asylum application within 1 year after your arrival, USCIS would not give you your work authorization at all until later on your case gets granted. So that is also very problematic. These new rules regarding asylum applicants are also the subject of a federal lawsuit. There's currently a case pending. It's called Casa de Maryland versus Wolf, Chad Wolf. He's the acting secretary of DHS. So that is currently pending in federal court in Maryland, and we will see what happens with that. Another basis of that case is that Chad Wolf was not legally appointed as acting secretary of Department of Homeland Security. So that's another aspect of that case. Anyway, this has been a short update on work permits in September 2020. I am Heidi Myers, immigration attorney. I am located in Lower Manhattan in New York City at 11 Broadway, Suite 925. You can also contact me at 212-791-4007 or 646-508-5225. My email is HeidiMyersLaw@gmail.com. And if you have any ideas of topics you'd like me to talk about in the area of immigration, economic sanctions, issues facing immigrants who are trying to start a business in the United States, you can contact me about any ideas that you have, and I'd be happy to hear them. And I'd be happy to make videos on them. All right, folks, it was nice to see you, and I hope I see you again soon. All right, have a good week. Bye-bye.